Hello, Mech fans. This is Duncan Fisher. Hold on firmly to your mana potions, fireballs, and familiars, because you are tuning in to your regularly scheduled episode of the First Circuit Podcast.
And hello and welcome to the First Circuit Podcast episode 160. Last time we talked about a bit more broad things and it was not that upbeat as it usually is, but this week we're going to be way more positive and we're going to be talking about all the more current things concerning MechWarrior Online and MechWarrior 5. Your hosts today include Altbob.
Hi.
Bida.
Want to go through some really tedious patch notes.
Yeah, and myself, Sawyer, and I'm excited for patch notes. Not really, but let's get started with the first topic that we have for today, which are the November patch notes. Obviously, the big item thing is the delivery of the annual rewards program that we're having this year, and I just gotta say, I love the paint job. I'm so happy they took the paint job from the picture, and I think it's beautiful. What do you guys think?
Isn't this a paint job that they gave out during MechCon or something? No, actually, that was a fractal pattern. I thought I saw this paint job like somewhere. Not sure.
Don't care, even if it's a reused one. It's so pretty. The blue.
It doesn't ring any bells. It looks okay. It's a bit the vibrant blue obviously stands out, but the question is how that blue looks when you recolor it, because that is the biggest part of the mech's color scheme. And they stand out when you have a stock image like this, but I don't actually want to walk around as a big giant ultramarine or anything like that.
You don't?
No.
Okay, do we want to take a quick look at the stats for these mechs, which have been published now?
Mm-hmm.
We were speculating about it last time. Now we have the actual stats, and I don't know PGI, but your mech packs have better readability for their stuff. This is not great, but
yeah, the mech packs usually. This is somewhat what they've done in the past as well. For I think the loyalty rewards. I mean, at least they actually gave us the stats a bit before.
We
qualifying.
have it, which is cool. All right, so let's get started with the Urban Mac R80. It's gonna have the standard 60 engine, so that's some top speed of 32 kph. It's gonna have jump jets. It's gonna have ECM. And weapon-wise, let's double check Snub-Nose PPC tag. I believe it's accurate to what we predicted last time with the Beagle Active Probe and ECM as the main features of the mech.
Beagle Active Probe, of course, you can just put in any mech. So, it's the same engine cap, same jump jet cap as most Urbies, I think. 5 energy hardpoints in total. Not as much as like the K9, but 5 MPL is still pretty good, and you have the ECM.
Yep.
The right arm has 3 of your energy, so 60% of your firepower is located in one arm, and Urbies like having their arms being shot off. There's 14 armor protecting that arm, but it's probably going to be a little bit of a big energy brick. So, we'll have to wait and see. But it's just typical Urbie things. They usually have weapons in the arms, and those arms get shot off. That's the hilarity of being an Urbie. And you have one backup torso energy just after your arms get shot off. Quirk-wise, it's fine. Nothing really much actually to help its damage output necessarily, though then again, 5 MPL, pretty strong. And it's got PPC, family quirks, if you want to take some PPCs on an Urbie, which does help its build diversity, I think. I'm actually a little curious about exactly how it plays out when you have 10% ECM target sensor range reduction as an actual baseline quirk. This is because there's no mechs that actually have this, at least as a base quirk. What this means is like ECM normally when you use full skill tree, it reduces sensor range to 25%. This Urbie you only have 15% sensor range against it. So for every 1,000 sensor range you can only sense the Urbie 150 meters within, so you have to be really close. That's making it a really sneaky Urbie. You might not even need stealth.
Yeah, and then like there's this small zone between where you can see the mech and before you get completely jammed. So like there's this little streak zone. This Urbie is gonna be hard to streak.
Yep.
Which is again interesting. So Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Irby. I'm definitely going to be playing it. I don't really like lasers, but still, it's an Irby. I'm
Yeah,
obviously going to play it.
I personally, as far as lock-ons go, I'm not a fan of the extra ECM sensor reduction thing. There's already enough ECM in the game. We're adding more ECM with these 2 extra mechs and stuff, and making the ACM even stronger is an extra kick in the balls of lock-on mechs.
Yeah. I do want to say though, I actually spent money on MechWarrior Online for the first time in a long while to get this Irby, so I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, playing it should be fun. And who plays lock-ons anyway anymore? Silly billies.
Oh, that wound is way too fresh. Don't get me started by that. Let's jump over to the Viper F, which is one of the mechs that I was most excited for, and goddammit, this is awful to read. It's gonna be
Basic point is CT energy, so you might not have so much CT armor, but you do have 4 ballistics in each arm. This means, as I had speculated, you can take 4 in each arm for ballistics and 2 in each side torso, and like a CT flamer, and be a really potent Viper. This thing could be an absolute nuisance.
Yeah, though of course if you mix hard points you lose the 100% extra heavy machine gun ammo, which might make a difference on the Viper. I know the Viper, if you go with too many machine guns, is kinda weight constrained, but still,
Yeah.
it's
All types of machine gun ammo. I do like that. You don't have to use
yeah,
HMG. Though HMG is obviously the most prominent reason you would want
yeah.
that ammo.
Well, to be fair, light machine guns also have a place. Just to tickle them from a long range and make all those heavy mechs turn around and like, god damn it, where is he now?
Like, what's it? It's because it's 12 light machine guns, and it's 12 times 0.7. That's a half decent DPS from range. If you and in this patch, they're also tightening the spread of light machine guns. So if in this poking meta you have enough time to spray at someone with light machine guns, well, yeah, they could actually be quite scary. But yeah, machine guns for the most tonnage efficient kind of, and HMGs for that raw DPS up close. But yeah, this is some great pouncing on enemy opportunities. The Viper has always sort of been constricted with its sort of, you have to half mix energy, half mix ballistics because you couldn't fully specialize in either, and this allows you to fully specialize in ballistics. So yeah, it's a pretty potent addition to Vipers.
Yeah, it's basically a oversized power enemy at this point if you do it right. And
Yeah,
it's gonna have the same shortfalls. Its armor quirks are obviously not that big. It's overall its defensive quirks aren't amazing. It's still a Vibe. It's gonna fall apart if someone looks at you for too long. But I'm expecting this mech to be really fun. Though sadly, I'm only gonna be getting it once we get it for Seabuilds. So I'll be looking forward to that.
yeah. You play it just like those MG lights. You don't want to get hit, but you have a really good punch.
Yeah,
This should be a
find
good mech in the right
that
hands.
LRM boat and burn out its back torso. That's what you do with these.
Yeah.
Moving on, the mech that I think is probably going to be the most interesting one, the Dlss K3 with 3 jump shots. And ECM, I guess, but yeah.
hmm
So max engine rating 400, going to be a speedy boy with jump shots, ECM.
Yeah, the max engine rating was a bit funny actually, just in the sense that's supposed to be the unique feature of the Boar's Head. This one is double dipping into Boar's Head and the
DDC.
DDC, yeah, the ECM, and it's the Atlas that wants to take all the cookies, all the unique cookies. It just needs mask, and then it's like, haha, I've got all the uniqueness. Even the Spirit Bear is not safe from me. Hardpoint wise, 2 energy in each arm, so a total of 4 energy. That's fine enough, though. You can do stuff like 4 larges, 4 MPLs, 4 medium lasers. Stuff to back up your 1 missile, so only like MRM 40 if you're ever going to take something like that. Maybe LRM 20, but and 2 ballistics in the other torso, which
Yep.
yeah, fairly
I think
standard
that's
Atlas stuff.
yeah, that's kind of a disappointment for me with the only one missile on the Atlas, especially Speedy Atlas. I liked back in the day to do like AC-20 and a bunch of SRMs. This mech's gonna be running MRMs most likely because again, more tonnage for a single slot. But overall,
So yeah, I do like. I mean, the thing is, the DDC, its only claim to fame is ECM with SRM 18 and the AC-20. If this could also do SRM 18, then there really isn't much place for the DDC.
Fair. Yeah, we've talked about last episode with new variants kind of taking over from all the other variants, and yep, I concede the point. And of course, quirks for the others are fairly standard for the most part. A bunch of armor quirks, more defensive quirks, and jump jet quirks, which on an Atlas, I love it.
Yeah, I do like having like 40% extra thrust initially is really good for a mech that might want to be kind of more of a brawler. It's also such a tall mech where you have to fire from the hip that just getting it up and over that cover is really important. So giving it a strong 40% extra initial thrust is right on the money, I think, for kind of what you want the mech to do if it ever wants to actually take those jump jets. I don't think like 3 jump jets at 100 tons is that strong, but honestly, I don't use the jump jets on like Direwolf that much. And they were quirked to be, the way they reworked them was that they were good at climbing buildings rather than being able to jump very quickly. But yeah, and yeah, 15% missile cooldown on that single missile hardpoint will help it, that big single MRM keep up with whatever DACA loadout or you have with the rest of the mech. Seems fine.
Yep.
Fairly
So
bog standard.
yep. November patch, getting 3 new mech variants for the loyalty program. If you've supported the game in some way throughout the past year, you're gonna get at least something. Any closing thoughts on the rewards program, Bob?
Yes.
When people ask for any thoughts, that's more than just a yes or no answer. Are you getting any of the rewards, Bob?
Yeah, I'm getting something. I think it's just I think it's Irby. I'm not sure. I'll double check on that. I haven't checked on it for about a month, so I don't really know. But
When's the window closed? Is there still time?
No. By the time of the
Yeah,
release of this podcast, the time is gonna be closed.
time.
So if you buy MC, you can for next year's rewards program.
I mean, it's cool. Basically, they always do this like every year. The Atlas is an interesting concept. The Irby is an interesting concept. I don't see it being used like that. I still think the K9 is more of a better fit than all the rest of them, basically. Because I mean, ECM and BAP and Guardium on a light mech like that, you're wasting a lot of tonnage, basically.
Just take out the BAP. It's just a piece of equipment, like a whole bunch
Yeah.
of stock mechs, I think in quick play, ECM can be pretty valuable.
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to get close to the enemy or trying to snipe at range. Just that extra time for random players to find you really helps out. So
Yeah, the ECM
yeah.
does actually help. But just the other two, I'm like, yeah. But I mean, yeah. I mean, it's all good. It's all good there. I'm 100% excited. 100% excited about this. It's exciting
Alright,
times.
I'm looking forward to get that Atlas. You mount like 3 snub noses, 2 like an LB20, and you jump snipe with it or something, or a
Yeah.
Gauss rifle.
Yeah.
This goes heat with Gauss rifle, but point is, hey, for this meta, you want it to jump snipe. That would be funny. Just haha, I'm an Atlas and I can jump snipe too, or I could I could peek, I could poke and snipe like all the big boys out there.
I mean, I like that concept. Don't get me wrong. That's actually pretty funny. Seeing a Atlas jump like that.
Standard 400 engine with SRMs, small lasers. I don't know. Oh dear.
Hey, on the plus side, it's gonna be better fitting to the MechWarrior 5 marketing material we've complained about.
Yeah, I know.
This is more of a fast and punchy mech, and now we have an Atlas that's reasonably fast and mobile.
And it just needs an AC-20 in the arm now, I think, right?
Yeah.
From the.
Shall we move on?
Okay.
Yes, let's move on.
Let's move on.
We have minor weapon adjustments. The machine guns are getting slightly buffed overall. With the IS light machine guns, the Clan light machine guns, and the Clan heavy machine guns. Spread damage, and for the heavy machine guns, a bit of range. Which, yeah, it's
a
nice.
little bit of heat reduction, a teeny little heat reduction for the PPC. These tiny little fine-tuned things, put very much at the top. These are the things that make you want to come back and play the game. Like your heavy PPC mech, it's slightly cooler. Ooh.
I mean, I think the only thing that I'm excited about is the Industrial Light Machine Gun thing, because I think I use my my blackjack with the 6 machine
Yep,
guns.
the
That's
arrow.
about it,
Ah,
really.
yep. Well, that one is getting that and the Viper and stuff. They are getting touched up on.
But I mean, not enough to come back. But still, that's what would excite me, though.
Yeah, effectively the arrow can now focus critting on one component slightly better than it could before.
Yeah,
Which, hey,
yeah.
is nice. Then quirks-wise, we've already talked about the quirks for the reward mechs. There have also been some minor other adjustments. I think, as usual, we're not really going to go too much into detail. If you're interested, check out the page note pages. For you guys, anything that stands out?
Well, standing out in the huge list of things is a tricky thing because it really depends, of course, what makes you like to play. Like Bob was talking about his blackjack, the one with all the machine guns. That is getting like 20% machine gun range. That's kind of convenient.
Yeah.
A 10% extra laser cooldown. So if you like got um 3 large lasers or something like that, you fire them slightly faster. That's kind of neat. And its survivability is being improved, so it'll be able to engage in longer, more trades and use its machine guns more because it's tankier. Those are all nice,
Yep.
simple improvements.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna second that one as a standout to me because the arrow is my favorite in MechWarrior Online, and yeah, it's gone slightly better.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you don't want to necessarily give it things like machine gun rate of fire because it has 6 machine guns, and that can very
Yep.
quickly become a very powerful amount of DPS.
Yep.
So yeah, instead you give it more sustain, give it more range, and just help it out in getting those machine guns getting used. One thing is, at least a little bit with that blackjack, is I kind of wish it had a little bit of machine gun ammo. Just my personal preference, just because
Yeah.
I usually build it primarily as a laser boat because you spend most of your time poking and prodding with it, just like any other mech, with just the energy hard points. And the machine guns you only use later on when the components are open. So therefore, I usually skimp a lot on the machine gun ammo.
Mm.
Less for me, those 6 light machine guns are meant to open up mechs.
Yeah, I mean, they do more damage and have less spread, so maybe I want to do that, but I still usually just want to get that, triple large pulse, boom, 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 and then go into cover.
Use triple large porcelains on it.
So I think I did that at some
Hmm.
point. You have to make a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Double large pulse and like a medium laser can be done.
yeah. Actually, I think you use a double large, one large pulse.
1 large pulse, 2 mediums, 6 light machine guns.
Yeah,
That's the build
yeah.
we've been running for the longest
That,
time on it.
I think that's the one I use. I don't know. I'll do a double check. But it's my favorite mech. It's one of my favorite mechs. Just fun to use. Like, even though I get my ass kicked most of the time, it's fun.
Yep. And then, whole more list of quirk changes. We've been talking about the Grand Dragon last episode. That one's getting some extra quirks. The Hellbringer, I'm a teeny bit concerned about because that's been one of the best laser vomit, Porco Wonder Corner, Alpha Strike, or Beggar Wonder Corner mechs. It's getting, thankfully, not that many quirks, so it's not as bad as I was afraid it would be.
I do like it's getting large sort of set of 8 quirks because obviously a lot of those sets of 8 have almost no reason for being run right now because they offer, I think, like just the XP boost. Though obviously if you're taking stock Omnipods, the loadout is usually really silly. So you should really get a much better reward than what you're getting currently.
I get a question though. Why does the direwolf have 10% range on the left torso? Because
For
as
the W.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget. Is that one like that has very few hard points on it? I do not remember hard point for hard point what mechs have.
why would
like
magic
that.
be used on the left torso to make it 10% more? I'm trying to understand.
Well, this is a balance decision, of course. So the W's left torso has a single missile hard point.
I mean, why don't they say, like, missile hard point plus 10% range instead of just left torso?
It's more of it's a omnipod that no one ever really uses because to build a direwolf, not really for that one missile slot. You usually want your side torsos to be something like energy or extra ballistics from the ultraviolet.
You can take 2 missiles in the left torso. You can also take or 1 missile and 2 energy. There's other omnipods out there which have more options. So
Oh, okay.
why take an omnipod which has less hard points on it?
Okay. I just thought it was just magic.
That's an interesting example for balancing clan mechs. You don't have to just balance the clan variants against each other like with IS. You have to balance the individual omnipods against each other. Which,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, at some point we want to balance the legs out to make sure that you have incentives to take different legs, you know?
True.
Yeah. One thing, a mech I'm quite fond of, so to speak, is the Cataphract. And an interesting decision they've done, which sort of makes some sense, is at least the side torso that has the ballistic they have made tankier, and CTs usually, but otherwise the changes are fairly minimal, so to speak. Some are doing quite well in quirk-wise, but a lot are just, just getting a bit tankier. I think Cataphracts can be actually quite strong, and I actually do think they're quite good mechs. It's just in quick play, you don't usually see that much of the Cataphract because of its low mounts and everything. And well, durability is indeed what it primarily needs to, get into that position.
Well, lore-wise, the Cataphract was a beast, basically. Just you saw one of those in the field, you crap your pants. When that starts coming towards.
Yeah. One extra thing I really do like actually on the Cataphract front, the Cataphract 2X, the left arm armor is finally being increased. On that mech, it was one of the few mechs I took that had a somewhat viable bracket build, at least back in the day. That you had different weapons for different occasions, and all of them overlapped when you got close enough, and it had strong quirks to help it with side peek and stuff. But the left arm basically had two missile, and those two SRM6s became quite big and meant that whenever I torso twisted to shield, the left arm would often get blown off, which means I lost a lot of my brawling firepower, which absolutely sucked when I was playing the 2X. Now that arm is getting a huge hefty survival boost, the mech just overall will have a much better time, doing what it wants to do.
Yeah.
Alright, so bunch of changes, quirks. Go take a look at the changelogs if you want to go into detail. And I do think this kind of stresses a point we brought up last episode that not every change we've been getting in MechWarrior Online is bad. It's just
No,
some
of
of them
course
are.
not.
And I think
It's
overall we've been seeing a lot of good this patch for November.
There's a lot of kinks that have been ironed out, but also that mindset of ironing out kinks has also led to them pushing for a certain philosophy behind the game, and that isn't fully in line with what I find fun. And there's issues here and there, blah blah blah.
Yeah. If you haven't seen our last episode, we highly recommend checking it out to have our full thoughts on the whole fun and balance for future thing.
You
So,
just
one
need
final
to
thing.
fix Alpine Peaks. Just fix Alpine Peaks. Stop ruining the good maps. Sorry.
Oh, one fun thing that I want to bring up from the patch notes, though, they put a link to Hellbore Springs in here for the December patch, which is going to be the new quick play
Oh, okay.
map. And I clicked and was like, oh, are we getting more info on the map? And they linked to the MechWarrior Online Wiki, which hasn't been seeing much attention at all. So them linking to the wiki and
Wow.
these map list actually being updated, like Hellbore Springs, we can see it's a medium-sized map, 19 degrees Celsius, so like and cool. Yeah, it's cool. Maybe we'll
Okay.
see the wiki more in the future. I'm hoping.
It'd be nice if
The
they
wiki
update
is
that. Yeah.
pretty good resource if they updated it.
True. That's been
Yeah.
on the list of everyone's like please fix for decades. Not
Yeah.
decades, but
It's one of the many things that you could do to improve the game.
yeah.
As usual. Right now it says only just invasion. Invasion, like above Grim Portico, is faction warfare, isn't it? That's in Hellborn Springs.
Yeah, Hellbone Springs was part of the faction warfare.
Oh, it's based on Hellborn Springs. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay, so next we have the Ebon Jaguar. Love this.
Yep.
Everyone
Next up,
talks
free
about it
mech
on Twitter.
Even Jaguar B, which is one of the better mechs, the B. At least I remember seeing the B a whole lot back when the Jaguar was really popular. And you can get one for free for the next, at the time of release, 20 days. So plenty of time to qualify for another free mech.
Yep, Everjag B has lots of energy hardpoints. That's exactly what you need in this kind of meta. So yeah.
Yep, as always, it's a free mech event. It's pretty good. One of the easier or earlier things to get is the 7 days of premium time to help you along earning all the other things, and you get some decals, some MC, some colors. Ultimately, you get the mech.
Yep.
And
It's all the usual generic stuff that is not too, egregious, but yeah, you at least get plenty of goodies, and you do get the mech. So it's the usual things to look forward to any month.
yep, I like it a lot.
Yeah, not too bad.
Anything to add, Bob? You were quite critical of the events last episode.
Yeah, it's standard. Basically, like everyone likes these kind of things, which is which is good. I think we talked about it, on the last episode and all past episodes. Is this is a great way to bring new people into the game, and one of the things that I always adhere to PGI is that they pretty much give you stuff, basically MC, money, mechs, basically. So you really one of the better games out there that you don't have to spend.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend money, but do spend money if in case you like the game. But it's one of the things they just give you stuff. Here, have some candy. It's like Christmas time. That kind of thing.
I think new mechs like this, it's great for new players. For me, of
Oh, yeah.
course, I already have an Eben Jag. I think some people who like Eben Jags probably have plenty of
Yeah.
Eben Jags, and so therefore it's not necessarily an incentive for your people who've actually played the game a fair amount to come back, and that's somewhat the issue we're talking about. Just that it isn't. It's good, but it's not for everyone, and we could make life much more interesting. Though I bet Matt is doing a lot already.
Oh yeah.
Knowing Matt, he probably has a couple of fun and interesting things cooked up for the next few months.
Uh,
And yeah, I mean, December's coming around. December, I believe, is usually a loot back event
Yeah.
over
And
Christmas. So
Yeah,
we just had the Thanksgiving one, right?
stocking stuffer, isn't it? I think it's called the
Yeah.
Christmas event.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
It's probably 25 days of Christmas though, something like that. They'll probably do it, and the stocking stuffer. Did that? I think they did it like last year, 25 days, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
it's
usually
it's
the
usually a whole month for the loot bag events.
Right. And then we have one final news brackets for MechWarrior Online, which is just a quick note. The MechWarrior Online Code of Conduct is getting updated. No word just yet what exactly the new wording is gonna have. I'll be completely honest, I have no idea what's in the Code of Conduct. I know I read it at some point because it was relevant to a conversation I had on forums, but I completely forgot anything. So
Well,
Yeah.
it just needs one line. Don't be a dick. Basically, that might be like the code of conduct thing. One line.
that
That's all
is
you need.
the most important thing. Yeah, but yeah, in this particular case, they're gonna be looking at the language, making sure it's inclusive for pilot names, team names, redefining some forum rules. Yep, sounds good. Clarification on chat spamming also sounds good. And
Point
Yeah.
being, of course, MWO, it's been around for a while. When it first came out, people weren't thinking about a lot of current political issues, and well, you need to update things for the times, and so that's what they're going to work on.
Yeah.
very much so. All right, and then moving on, we have a couple of MechWarrior 5 news items. First up, let me zoom in for you guys watching on YouTube so you can read along. MechWarrior 5 is getting another. Is it hotfix?
Hotfix, yeah.
It's just a patch with a
patch.
hotfix in the works.
Yeah.
And the patch is basically a hotfix, a bunch of fixes. Nothing new and exciting, really, just a bunch of fixes for issues the game have had.
Yeah, I think of note, at least what grabbed my attention, of course, it starts off mentioning, hey, your AI teammates will use things like LRMs better or something. I'm not sure exactly what the fix is. It's not too clear, but there were always issues with target info gathering and your AI's sort of inability to focus attention. So they didn't always do too well with an LRM equipped mech.
Yeah, I should notice
so
that before.
Yeah, so simple issues like that should be addressed and hopefully will be. Well, I haven't really played to actually see how that plays out. I found it funny, by the way, it said fixed issue where battle mech maintenance or upkeep costs are all 10,000. I haven't looked yet what they cost now for bigger mechs, but I was just like, oh, I assume they were doing the same thing as Head Game Schemes Battletech, where they said they came to the decision that we're not going to disincentivize you from taking bigger mechs by making them cost more. And I was just like, okay, yeah, that makes enough sense. Just 10,000 per mech, keep it simple.
And one of the things I think they should actually do, this is just a suggestion to the MW5 group, is when you put your mech in storage, when you bring it out, have it so it has the same build, so you don't have to go sit there and remember what the freaking build was. Every time I play MechWarrior 5 and I run on Wednesdays, shameless plug, I run on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Standard Time on my Twitch channel. But every time I play
It's your
that,
Twitch channel also.
Twitch,
10025.
yeah, is that I put it in storage and then I bring it out, go, oh cool, I love to use this, and I go, oh man, I forgot what the freaking build was. Have it where it saves it, so like I could, if it has the stuff inside of it, or if I have it inside my inventory, like all the parts and weapons and everything, put it back in there. Just it's such a pain in the ass to rebuild that thing over and over again. Or if you do like me, where I'm doing the hero hunt, I'm looking for a mech. I have 12 mechs going. Fuck, I gotta put one of my mechs inside storage, get the mech, and then get that mech put in storage, and my other mech I just put in storage and bring it back out. It's like, oh man, I gotta rebuild this thing again. So just make it so you could save the builds. That's all I ask.
Yep. And for those of you listening having the same issue, yet another mech lab, the mod does offer you an option to A, save your loadouts and load your loadouts, and B, an optional config option to automatically save a loadout whenever you put something in storage. So
And what's it called
if
again?
you need it quick urgently, get a mod.
The way it usually plays out, though, if you ever put anything in storage, it also uninstalls all the upgrades,
Yeah.
and the upgrades cost millions and take a huge amount of time. So not only do you have to install all the equipment, you also would want to install all the upgrades, which means if you ever have a fully kitted mech and you send it to storage, for the most part, what I'm doing is I'm just saying that is a dead mech. I don't care about it anymore. It is so much hassle to bring it back, and those slots are so precious that I cannot be asked to bring them out from storage. One issue that did compound on this that they have fixed is they fixed the issue where battlefield loot items were not being added to inventory. I'm not sure exactly what this refers to. Is like it could just be they might be referring to the supply caches you find around. But I did have an issue where what was it? I completed a quest and they rewarded a mech, like one of the story quest things, and the DLC quest, sorry. And the mech it rewarded me or something like that wasn't added to anywhere because my mech lab was full.
Yeah,
I've had a
I had
couple
that too.
happen a couple times. So
Yeah.
I've always made sure to have at least 2 or 3 slots open just because I don't want to lose an entire mech's worth of salvage. I paid a lot of salvage shares for that mech.
Okay, speaking of salvage, basically like when you go ahead and salvage that loot box like in the middle of the battlefield, they're like, you found the massive salvage thing. Here's 6,000 credits. I'm like, what the hell am I do 6,000 credits, dude? That's like me pissing in the garbage can. Like, what the hell? Basically make it so it's bigger. I know there's a mod.
50K.
Okay, 50K, whatever. Basically, that like that's a dropship run, basically, or like going to the next planet. Like, oh god, make it bigger,
Oh, you have to have a sense of proportion. Think of how many mole men you could feed with that 50,000
Mole men, yes.
Oh god, bring back all classics.
Not the mole men again.
If you're listening having the same issue, there's a mod for this.
There's a mod for it too. Yeah. I know of that mod, but I don't want to like have to mod my whole freaking game to play the standard game. To make it better, that type thing. I mean, I don't mind a couple mods. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I don't know, they should. It should be increased based off of like I guess how much mechs you have or money you have, because I mean like I think Uber has like 600 million C-bills and he finds a cache of like 25,000. It's like, what the hell is he gonna do with that? It's just like it's garbage.
Well,
Nothing
to be fair, at that point, you don't waste your time picking them up. So it's
I know
down to player choice. Which
I mean, I don't pick them up now, but still, it's just a.
When you're at higher tier missions, I think they give higher tier rewards. So it's well worth that. If we get like a max tier PPC or something. But in some ways, in the long run, it is not worth picking up supply caches on lower tier missions at all. They're not worth your time.
Yeah. Okay, one final thing I want to bring to attention with patch notes: updated Nvidia DLSS DLL. That is actually more important than it sounds. The Nvidia DLSS version is always fixed for this one particular file, you can manually upgrade the DLSS version by downloading it from Nvidia directly. Now you're getting the updated DLSS version directly in the game. And DLSS, for those of you who don't know, is an option that allows you to render the game at a lower resolution than your display is usually showing. And then it just gets upscaled. So effectively, you're getting more frames per second. The game is running a lot smoother, and you're not really losing a lot of visual quality. Like, you're not going to be able to tell, and it's just going to feel smoother. So a newer DLSS version is going to help with that, which is always really good.
Oh, I have to change this, by the way. A shameless plug on Saturdays is when I do the MechWarrior games, MechWarrior 5 games, instead of Wednesdays. Just to let you know.
Give us the link again, Bob.
And check my Twitter, oldbob10025. Shameless plug.
Okay. Right. And then one final news thing for today's episode. MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries retail release. Now, this is not something I personally expected, though I assume with the move to Xbox and PlayStation it makes sense. You can find MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries in stores now as a physical copy.
Yes.
Which is very cool. And next Wednesday I'm going to be out in the city and looking for it on my local retailers.
I might, someone has an extra box. I might just buy the box just to have the box, not the disc. I didn't even have a disc on my computer. So, just to have it, basically, just to have it there. In fact, I don't even have a PS5 or a PS4 or a PS3 or 2 or 1 or an Xbox. So, just to have it, just because, I like to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, interesting to note. Price is going to be the base price of the game, so €30, $30 or £25. For those very few people who use this absolutely weird currency that no one should ever use.
Whatever.
And the disc only contains the base game, so none of the DLCs, which for me is a bit of a letdown. It makes sense to make the game more accessible for physical copies, but also I feel like the Jump Ship edition with the 2 DLCs is kind of the version of MechWarrior 5 you should be getting if you're getting into the game fresh. And I would have preferred seeing both or only seeing the Jump Ship edition. So,
well, maybe they could make more money selling the original and then the 2 DLCs separately in the discs, and then basically later on, like they normally do for a lot of companies, is sell it like a Jump Ship edition in about a year, your edition or.
Yeah, I it's been forever since I've sort of kept up with how retail is for games, but obviously most people do things digitally. I wonder, at least as you come towards Christmas, people buying stuff from the game shelves, they're doing it as a present for little Timmy. And hey, this looks like a game Timmy would like. And it's just the base game, but Timmy really enjoys it. And then he buys the DLC, and that's the audience you're going for, rather than the digital sales, which have already, of course, been made. You're selling it to a less informed audience.
Are you talking about Timmy from South Park or Timmy with the peg leg, basically, from the stories?
Just little Timmy, the 6-year-old who
okay,
comes home after a long day from the coal mines, smokes his pipe.
Yeah.
It's a character in my D&D campaign, don't question it.
Can I have another mech?
Yeah, for that particular audience, I still would have preferred getting the Jump Ship edition because I still think that's the edition people should be buying of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To be a consumer advocate, I think, it should be bundled with the DLC. The base game just doesn't have the same number of bells and whistles to really keep you entertained, and it's not the full experience.
But yeah, I understand offering the cheaper version. More likely, people are more likely to pick up something that's $30 than something that's $60, and I honestly don't care. I'm gonna buy it just to have the box if I find it.
Yeah, same with me, John. I'm gonna just pick it up just for the box.
And
but not
how
the
boxes are gonna look. What to look out for?
Not the game, the boxes. So I'll probably buy the boxes for $5 each. Something.
So, if you're getting the console box, which console, Ian?
Yeah.
This is like, I don't have an Xbox. I don't think I'll ever buy an Xbox because Microsoft is very much moving towards Xbox, PC, cross compatibility with all things. I do have a PS4, so I'll probably pick it up for PS4.
I can't find a PS5 to save my life. I mean, literally, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, I'll never play it on console. I don't think I will. But I mean, might as well buy the version that I could potentially play, I guess. That makes sense, right?
I mean, if I got a PS5, I don't think I'll be playing MechWarrior. I'll be playing other games like it goes to Tube of like Two Minutia, like whatever it's called. That game and a couple other things. But MechWarrior, I think I'll stick with the PC version. Okay, so
Yeah, I think what a PC retail release has that been out for a while? I think I've
2
seen
years.
it.
2 years
Yeah.
for PC, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I would if I had to get the physical box, it'd probably be for PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you could actually print out the box and get it done that way, and or whatever.
Oh yeah,
however
yeah.
they do it.
You could just get one of the a simple box and then just print out the the cover and save
No, they have
yourself a
some
lot of
type
money.
of box you could print out some way to make it a box like a normal box. I don't know how they do it. That's way beyond my
Print it out,
comprehension.
glue it on sturdy paper, and fold it in a
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
Then you could put it. But I mean, an actual PlayStation 4 box is kind of cool, and I only have 3 PlayStation 4 boxes because I don't really play PlayStation games, so it's gonna add to my collection, and Okay, I'm way too excited for something that doesn't
Okay.
really matter to me, but
I think I got it. I think I got the thumbnail now. So thanks. Okay.
And with that, we're through with the news tickets for this past few weeks, and I guess we'll be back in 2 weeks with our impressions of the November patch from MechWarrior Online and whatever else PGI has cooked up by then. Anything else you guys want to add?
I think I'll go ahead and download MechWarrior Online again to get the impression, I guess.
Yay!
That kind of thing.
But yeah, as I think we all said last one quite clearly was that we're all kind of burnt out with the game, not playing it as much, and so therefore, particularly with all these little changes, it's not the biggest thing to really always report on. Like a big thing I think we should definitely get impressions on is of course how the new map plays. I think that's a really interesting thing, and with PGI being busy over the people go away for holidays over the winter and further. That will be the last sort of big piece of content for MWO Reborn or whatever for a while. There'll just be lots of little more changes in the future, but yeah.
A lot hinges on that map release.
It's the biggest thing I have to sort of look forward to, I guess.
Okay, so that was episode 160 of the First Circuit Podcast with tonight's hosts were Ian.
Hello and goodbye.
Myself, Bob. Hello and goodbye. And Biter.
I am actually not a cat in a pod.
Yes, we're not cats in the pod.
Aww.
We're cats in a...
I am. I'm a podcat.
I don't know what the hell I am, actually. I'm a meat popsicle, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so thank you for watching the First Circuit Podcast, episode 160. We do appreciate everything you guys do here, all your support and everything else. Thank you so much. And we will see you on... What?
The battlefield.
The battlefield. There you go. Ha! We got it. Okay.
And you can hear that catchphrase on twitch.tv.
One thing with you were going to be very ironic with that, and we won't catch you on the next battlefield. See ya!
See you later. Goodbye.